Hello guys, and this could have been just another Russian geography lesson where we visit Belgorod and there we destroyed another Russian S-300 system and Nebo-M radar. But I've decided to combine this with the Ukrainian strategy lesson. This is a part of a big plan to defeat and demilitarize Russia. And by targeting their radars, air defense systems, and by sending hundreds of Ukrainian drones, yes, now hundreds of Ukrainian drones to dozens of Russian regions, we do not only demilitarize military objects there, but we also test Russian air defense system. Can you guess why? Yes, because we finalized the production of the Ukrainian missiles, and the safe corridors will be needed when we start very serious Russian geography lessons with the destruction of very serious evil targets. So let's talk more about this beautiful strategy that we have started implementing these days. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the collapse of the Kremlin regime and the dissolution of Russia, stop being afraid of that, subscribe and please share these videos to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. That is the easiest but extremely effective way to help us spread the truth. So let's start with this brief geography lesson in which you will learn that we destroyed important air defense systems, part of the global network that Russia had. That is another S-300 and Nebo-M radar. Nebo-M radar is extremely rare. You know that the majority of these highly technological weapon systems, radars specifically, Russians constructed back in Soviet times with the help of all the other republics, and right now they cannot substitute them with anything. During these months, during the years of the failed blitzkrieg, we have destroyed a large number of S-300, S-400, Nebo-M radars, and even broke a number of world records, reaching some big radars at the far east of Russia. But this is no accident. This is, of course, very important for the frontline situation. For example, by destroying S-300 systems and radars, specifically close to the front lines, like in Belgorod, we actually save a lot of innocent lives, and we also do not let Russians shield their invaders. We leave them vulnerable, and if they were smart, if they cared about human life, then they would have stopped any operations. But they act differently, and we then keep demilitarizing more and more objects and invaders. But apart from this local tactics that is important for the course of war, we also included into a larger scale strategy. You know that on the top of everything is the only working peace plan developed by the Ukrainian armed forces to defeat and demilitarize Russia, and that will actually bring peace not only to Ukraine but to Europe and the world, and trust me, can prevent other conflicts like China-Taiwan. So anyway, this strategy now that becomes more and more visible, and by the way, very widely discussed on Ukrainian social media among Ukrainian experts, is to test Russian air defense systems. They have definitely already failed this test, but anyway, when sending hundreds of Ukrainian drones to hundreds of Russian military objects in dozens of the Russian regions, hey, skeptics, did you believe something similar was possible back in 2022? I doubt. I'm an optimist, I'm a Ukrainian patriot, but even I could not predict such development, such innovation from the Ukrainian armed forces. And Ukrainian armed forces are people who were ordinary civilians just a war ago. So by testing this system, we actually, well, first of all, we send drones to do the job, to demilitarize the objects, but we also look for these safety corridors, which later can be used by Ukrainian missiles. Subscribe to witness that together, and please like and share these videos. This is an active part of our information defense, and trust me, the world needs it, because NATO, France, Germany, Britain, lots of intelligence services actually confirm that Russia is preparing war against NATO countries. Some say it may happen in 5 years, others say in 2027, and some believe that by the end of this year, plus simultaneously with China attacking Taiwan. If you feel stressed, if you feel anxious, you don't like such updates, the only working way to prevent is to help us defeat and demilitarize Russia. With the collapse of Russian special military operation, we can safeguard a lasting peace, and trust me, China will stop considering any similar action if it sees the real response from the Western, as they love calling us, and watch, by the way, another video on my new channel, Western allies. We are, I hope. By the way, let me know in the comments below which armies of the world do you consider the strongest. Of course, I will be happy to read the Ukrainian armed forces, but also include 2 or 3 for me to build my opinion too, because there are different categories, there are different statistics, different characteristics, but it's interesting for me to know your personal opinion. You teach me a lot too. So I'm your Russian geography lesson teacher. Never could have predicted such a specialization, all thanks to Ukrainian drone units and hopefully soon missile units. But honestly, I like the job. So with these tests of Russian air defense systems that they keep failing, we actually see some blind spots, some problems that they have, and professional experts often name it corridors of opportunities. And these are not rumors that Ukraine is developing long-range missiles. We've learned the lesson. Nobody wants to give us long-range missiles. Nobody wants Ukraine to lose, but nobody wants Ukraine to win. And it's a very exhausting situation, so the best way is to develop your own weapons. Here, I'm very grateful to all the countries, and there are a lot, specifically military businesses that decided to get involved in the production either on your territories or even here in Ukraine under constant attacks. Another attack on Kyiv, Ivano-Frankivsk, Kharkiv, Odessa, many more Ukrainian regions, which is a proof of Putin once again humiliating Trump and his offers and his 50-day opportunity delay for Putin. He openly mocks the president of the United States. So anyway, by testing these corridors first, I guess we will be testing missiles next. And you can guess, I love the phrase. I've heard it on one Ukrainian YouTube channel, but I've learned that that channel learned it from Russian official media, where Russian experts compare Russia to a new polygon where you test the weapons. Is that the right word? That Russia has turned into a polygon testing grounds for Ukraine. Like it if you like it the way I do. That's the only way. We did not want war. We are a peaceful, very tolerant country. We wanted to live our own life, reform what we need to, build our future, and the Russians decided they wanted blitzkrieg. They failed with that blitzkrieg, and soon they will experience the dissolution of the Russian Federation. Trust me, the process has already started. So these tests of Ukrainian drones that first demilitarize important objects, important targets inside Russia, but also test their air defense and identify these corridors, already result in the collapse of the Russian air defense system and Russian air connection, because now the Kremlin does not control the airspace and thousands of people stay in airports. That's, of course, uncomparable to what we experience here in Ukraine during nights when they target schools, hospitals, and children in their beds, in their bedrooms. Russians only lose the opportunity to travel somewhere. But they definitely get the idea. War is back to Russia. War is now a part of their life too. And just because they cheered Putin, they liked it, and somehow they don't like it on their own territory. So the only way to end this, to defeat and demilitarize them and to liberate them this way, by the way. That's the only way to save Russia, if you care about Russia too. Anyway, thank you so much for your support and understanding. Remember to leave your ideas in the comments below. Subscribe to my new channel, Anna Danilchuk. The community is growing rapidly there and it makes me super happy. I'm very sincere there, lots of talking, but I feel like we are developing a new kind of dialogue there too. And join me on X, on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and of course, our Discord community. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channels. And I like pronouncing them in plural. That's an honor. And I really owe you for giving me this opportunity. Check the merch shop. Lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And I feel like we have the army of ambassadors literally in every corner of the world. Thank you for making it possible. Thank you for being friends of mine and friends of Ukraine. United we stand, and trust me, together we are way stronger. Slava Ukraini!